Hi there. Welcome to Melindan TV. It is a new year, and you know what that means. Everyone is going to be flooding every kind of social media talking about their goals and resolutions. But let's be real, how long do you really intend to work toward them? Are you going to give up by June? Are you going to give up by March? How about by January 2nd? So I just gotta ask, I hate to be that guy, but what are your fitness goals in 2020? And more importantly, how are you going to keep them? I think there's too much focus in the December-January time of year about what goals you want to have moving forward for the new year, but we have to remember to still be working toward those goals in July and August and September. So that's what this video is all about. I'm going to be talking about the 8 steps toward actually making sure you're reaching your goals by December 31st. And because I'm a multitasker and have multiple loves, I will be doing my makeup while we discuss. So let's go ahead and get started. Wow, that was a terrible snap. Step 1 is to be specific with your goals. So tell me if you've ever set one of these goals before. Eat better. Be more active. Go to the gym more. They're great ideas for goals, but they're not specific enough. And I'm sorry, not sorry. If you set that as your goal, it's not going to happen. So you need to be very specific with your goal. If you want to eat better, set a specific goal about eating better. Like, maybe your goal could be eating 800 grams of fruits and veggies a day, or 5 servings of fruits and veggies a day. Maybe your goal will be drinking however much water a day. You know, you set it for yourself. Maybe instead of going to the gym more, your goal will be go to the gym 4 days a week for at least 30 minutes. You know, you need to set really specific goals. So right now, think about the goals that you've already put in your mind for 2020 and ask yourself, are these goals specific enough? How can I get more specific? Maybe you need to set a mileage goal for yourself. Maybe you need to set a race goal for yourself. Maybe you need to pick a competition or a fitness goal. So here's some really good specific goals that you can set for yourself in 2020 and definitely cater it to what your actual goals are. So I have the nutrition goals that I just mentioned. Here's another one. Reaching a 200-pound deadlift. That's a goal. Running a 5K for the first time. Running your fastest marathon. Running a 10K PR. Running 1,000 miles for the year. Now let's talk about that, because this video is going to use a mileage goal as a basis for all of these steps, because I personally have a mileage goal for 2020. I have other fitness goals, but I'm going to be focusing on my mileage goal for 2020. And while these tips and steps can apply to a whole bunch of different goals, this is specifically what I'm going to be talking about. So for the past few years, I've been doing the gold challenge on ilovetorun.org. That's actually what it's called, ilovetorun.org. And basically, you commit to walking or running 1,000 miles in the year. But because I'm a runner, I only apply it to running because running is the only mileage that I actually record. I don't record when I go for a walk, me personally. And in 2019, I got, I think, maybe close to 1,300 miles. So I surpassed that goal running-wise. I don't know exactly how much because I'm not filming this in 2020. This is like me from the past talking to you from the future. So I don't know what my exact mileage is going to be by the time this video comes out, but I think I can do more. So I came across this challenge where you run the year. So the year is 2020. Guess how many miles I'm committing to running this year? 2,020 miles. Okay, that doesn't need to be your goal. It's mine. But why not try setting a similar goal? There are all kinds of challenges where you commit to running 500 miles or 1,000 miles or 2,000 miles or 20 miles. And it doesn't need to be running. It could be walking as well. So maybe go for that. And that happens to be the medal that I'm wearing. So I don't think I actually purchased the medal. You can join the challenge without buying the medal. But that's why I'm wearing the 2017 medal, because I think I stopped purchasing the medal and just started doing the challenge. But here you go. 1,000 miles in 1 year. I did that. And now my goal for 2020 is 2,020 years. So yeah, be specific with your goals. Do you have your goal in mind? Okay, good. On to step 2. Step number 2 is to commit. You probably won't keep your goal unless there is some type of commitment. So if your goal is mileage related, maybe you can sign up for one of those online challenges. Putting money down actually might help you to keep your goal, because it's like, oh, okay, I'm already monetarily committed to this. Plus, a lot of those websites have leaderboards and Facebook groups where you can go for encouragement or for tips come, a few weeks or months when you're not really motivated to do it anymore, but you want to keep your goal. So the two that I'm familiar with is this website, which I've done this challenge for a few years. They have the goal challenge, which is you run or walk 1,000 miles in 1 year. That's ilovetorun.org. And then there's also a run the year challenge, the one that I'm doing, which is 2,020 miles in 2020. And that one's at Run the Edge. So I'm going to put my referral links in the description box below. I don't think it gets you any discount. Warning, I think it gets me like a merchandise credit or something like that. So if you don't want to help me out with that, just go directly to the website. I won't be mad. I'll just be excited that you signed up. You just need to form some kind of commitment to whatever your specific goal is, if it's something that you can actually commit to. So if your goal is to run whatever distance race, register for it now. If registration to whatever race is open, do it now. And that's actually how I got into running. Every time I had it in my mind to run a new race, I would immediately register for it. So halfway through training, when I didn't feel like doing it anymore, it was like, okay, I'm already registered. I have to do this race. So skipping a day of training is going to make race day that much harder for me. So commit in whatever way you need to. Sign up for a challenge online. Register for your race. Register for your bodybuilding competition. Do whatever commitment step you need to do for the specific goal that you chose. And with that in mind, I still have the Melinden TV 20 Points in 2020 challenges. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, I'm going to link that video somewhere up here talking about how I have fitness and nutrition challenges all year long. They're completely free, and even better, if you do enough of them, I'm going to give you a present to help you with your fitness journey. So definitely check those out. By the time this video goes up, it'll be too late to sign up for the January Fitness Challenge, but you can still sign up for the January Junk Food Challenge and the January Water Challenge. Those are both nutrition challenges. And then there are fitness challenges every single month from February to December. They're free. They're good for beginners, intermediate, or advanced people in fitness. So yeah, that's another way that you can just commit to a challenge. Is the commitment is mental, and it's just saying, I'm going to do this. So why don't you go ahead and do it and commit to the challenge? Just saying. Okay, so you have made your goal, you have committed to it in whatever way you have needed to commit to it. Now, step 3, put it in writing. Sometimes it sounds like this is a step that needs to come before step 2, but seriously, commitment is more important. Once you're mentally committed to doing it, now you need to put it in writing so that you stay committed to doing it. Now, what do I mean by putting it in writing? Make a record of your goal. Make a list of your goals somewhere, and if you're the kind of person that's going to be motivated by looking at it every day, post it somewhere visible. Put it on your fridge, or put it on your desk at work. Like, put it somewhere visible to remind you of your goals. Or maybe you're someone like me who, you know you're going to keep your goals, but you'd like to see how far you've come at the end of the year. Make a time capsule for yourself. Write your goals down in a letter, seal it, and then don't open it up until December. Or make a video talking about your goals, which I did, and it's going to get hidden away in some zipped folder on my laptop, and I'm not going to open it again and watch it until December and make sure that I actually met my goals. The key is to make a list of your goals. Make sure you know exactly what you're working toward. Make a written list or a video recorded list. Like, record your goals in some way just to make sure that you're going to do them. So I have that video somewhere. I'm so excited to watch it at the end of the year and to see how far I've come and see if I've actually reached those goals. So the running 2020 miles in 2020, yeah, I have that recorded right here in this video. So if I don't meet it at the end of the year, yeah, you guys are really, really going to let me hear about it, I hope. That's, just some kind of accountability. Now, the next step goes hand in hand with the last step of putting it in writing somewhere, and that's where something like this baby comes along. So what's this thing? It's a planner, and that's step 4. Step 4, right? Step 4, make a plan. So your goal is something that you want to do throughout the entire year. And that means it's going to be a lot easier if you plan ahead. So make a plan. Buy a planner, write it down, write out what your plan is. So for my goal, my 2020 miles, for example, I need to run 40 miles each week, an average of 40 miles each week in order to make that happen. Some weeks I'll run more, some weeks I'll run less. You know what's really going to help is writing out my mileage plans for each day. So I actually do write my training plan. This is my exercise book, was my exercise book for 2019. Ignore how grody and disgusting it looks. But I write down, like, my calendar. I write down all of my workouts, and I only write it like a few months in advance. So I don't get like crazy here. Like, I don't know what my exact exercise routine is going to be in December of 2020, but I do write it out a few months in advance, and then I'll go into detail for some of the workouts that require a little bit more detail. Putting down all of your runs and your workouts in a plan is going to help you. Or if your goal is nutrition based, writing down your meal plan, writing down your shopping list, making a plan is really going to help you keep your goals, and putting it in a calendar where you can just look ahead to a few weeks in advance, a few months in advance, and that'll motivate you too, knowing like, oh, if I skip today, it's going to set me behind. So even though I don't really feel like it, I'm going to go to the gym today. So that's what I'm saying. Like, make a training plan, download a training plan online. If it helps you to join one of those programs where you pay whatever a month and they give you a training plan, do that. If you're doing one of my fitness challenges, print out the calendar that I send you and mark off the days as you do them. Make a training plan, have a calendar. I know that ilovetorun.org has a running calendar where you can put an X over each day as you run. Do something similar with that. Buy a blank calendar and just write in how many miles you did each day on that blank calendar so you could look back and be like, wow, I actually did something this year that I can be proud of. And having that in writing, having it all planned out, that is going to really help you keep your goals, because then it's not an overwhelming thing like, oh no, I don't know how to do this. 1,000 miles is a lot to do. 10 pounds is a lot of weight to lose, or 20 pounds is a lot of weight to lose, or this many fruits and vegetables is a lot. This is a lot of water to drink. It seems a lot less overwhelming if you just plan it out in advance and see that a big goal is made up of a lot of smaller goals. And those smaller goals are a lot easier to attain, and in the end, they'll add up to you meeting your specific goal for the year. Now it's time for my favorite part of my makeup routine, eyes. Okay, so the next step is to find accountability. You have your goal, you know what you're going to do, you know how you're going to do it, you're committed to it. Now spread it around. Tell everybody that you can tell about your goals. If you're the kind of person to post progress on social media, do that. If you want to join a group, do that. Find some accountability. And accountability just means that on the days, like, have you ever really not wanted to do something, but you already told somebody that you were going to do it, so you kind of have to, you're like obligated to do it? That's what accountability is. The more people you tell, the more obligated you're going to be to keep your goals, but also accountability helps you to find people with similar goals to you who can help you to reach your goals. So find partners that are working towards the same goal as you. Now take that with a grain of salt, because I've seen accountability partners drag each other down. Whereas if one person quits in like April, the other person's like, well, if my partner's not continuing, then I'm not continuing. No. Accountability, guys, I'm going to say it so many times that you're going to hate the word and it's going to not even sound like a real word anymore. You need to find people with similar goals, and if there's nobody with a similar goal in your area, just turn to the internet and join a group that has similar goals to you. Just keep on telling everybody about your goals so that you feel obligated to keep up with it. Like me, I could never quit running at this point because everybody everywhere asks me how my last race went. I could never quit even if I wanted to. So you need to get yourself into the same thing. If you do any of my fitness challenges, you can use me as your accountability partner. I can put a fire under your butt if that's what you need to do. But yeah, you need to find people with similar interests who you're going to be motivating each other to keep your goals going. I'm looking for the next item that I'm going to need for my makeup, and I think that's this little puppy, some eyeliner. Okay, moving on to step number 6, set benchmarks. So you have all of your goals and you have your plans and you have your commitment, you have your partners, you're ready until next month or the month after or the month after that. And the next thing you know, December comes and you haven't reached any of your goals. What happened? You need to check in with yourself regularly and make sure you're still on track. So schedule benchmarks for yourself. Check in with you and your goals weekly or monthly or quarterly and make sure that you're still on track. Ask yourself, what have I completed so far for this goal? Am I on track in comparison to my training plan or my calendar or my schedule? If I'm behind, is it still possible to catch up? What do I need to do to catch up? So set benchmarks for yourself to check in with yourself and make sure that you're still on track to reaching your goal. If you have a mileage goal like I do, Maybe say, I need to reach 200 miles by this date. I need to reach 500 miles by this date. And that'll really help to keep you on track. Like I said, setting a whole bunch of smaller goals is going to be easy than setting one big, lofty goal. Because if you reach those smaller goals, you'll eventually reach your end goal by the end of the year. Or if you have a race goal in mind, like let's say you're working toward a marathon, maybe also schedule a 5K for yourself and a 10K for yourself and a half marathon for yourself. You know, that's really going to help you if you set benchmarks, and at each benchmark, check in with yourself and make sure that you're still on track to meet your goal. We're almost done with the face, and we're almost done with the list. Okay, the second to last item on the list, step 7, reevaluate regularly. This goes hand in hand with those benchmarks. Now, I said for each benchmark, you need to check in with yourself and make sure that you're still on track to meet your goal. If you're not, it's time to reevaluate. One of the biggest reasons why people give up on their goals is the thought process, I've already fallen too far behind. That's the wrong thought process to have. If you've fallen behind on your goal, ask yourself if it's possible to catch up. Is it realistic? And if it's not realistic, then you need to set a new goal. It's okay to set a new goal halfway through the year. It's okay to acknowledge, you know what, I'm not going to meet this one. So set another smaller goal that you can reach where you're at. Maybe the July version of yourself is like, I've already fallen too far behind. There's no way I can reach 1,000 miles this year. There's no way I can reach 20 miles this year. Okay, work for a smaller goal. Reach for 500 miles. Maybe that's something that you can reach. So you need to be realistic with yourself, and at each benchmark, reevaluate your goals, and if you can't reach them, physically impossible to reach them, I mean, still go for it if you can, but if you can't, it's okay. Forgive yourself and set a goal that you can reach so that you still finish the year on a high note. All right, here we go. I lied. Highlighter is my favorite step. Anyway, the final step of this process is step 8. Reward yourself. It'll be easier for you to reach your goal if you have a reward on the line at the end. It can be a mental reward or an actual physical reward. Buy yourself a present. I don't know. But not just for the whole end goal, but for your benchmarks. Set smaller goals for yourself along the way, and then if you reach those smaller goals, reward yourself. It doesn't need to be something grand or expensive. If you can afford it, go for it. Like, your reward for yourself might be a vacation, or your reward for yourself might be something small, like treating yourself to a manicure, or, you know, treating yourself to a new pair of sneakers or shoes or something, like whatever appeals to you. Set a reward for yourself. Don't be afraid to buy yourself a gift. Here's another idea for rewarding yourself that I personally am fond of. Having a money jar. So I love this idea. I kind of started it in 2019 but didn't stick with it, and I really want to stick with it in 2020 because if so, I'm going to have a lot of money at the end of the year. So I saw somewhere the idea about every time you run or walk a mile, put $1 in a jar. 2 miles, $2. So for each run, you put that equivalent dollar amount in a jar. So if my goal is to run 20 miles in 2020, I'll have over $2,000 at the end of the year. And realistically, I'm not putting more than, I don't know, $20 or so in the jar at a time, because the longest distance that I have planned this year is a marathon, which is $26 in the jar at one time, and it'll all add up. So try to implement something similar. If you have a mileage goal, put $1 in a jar or in a separate savings account, which is better because you get interest, for every mile that you run. Or do some kind of similar process for whatever goal you have in mind. And you'll find out that opening that jar at the end of the year or looking at that savings account at the end of the year will be a reward all in itself. The more you run, the more dollars are in your account at the end of the year. So that's where the title of this video came from, because I thought this was a really cute idea. Like I said, I started it last year. I just saved hundreds of dollars in a bank account, didn't stick with it. I'm going to stick with it this year. And hopefully by the end of the year, I'm going to have over $2,000 in some savings account. And so will you. So let's reward ourselves with mini gifts and big gifts, mental gifts. Take yourself out to dinner. Give yourself a pat on the back. If you're the kind of person that is rewarded by material things, maybe put something away, put some money away. Have a little gift for yourself, or maybe treat yourself to like a day off. Something like that. Have rewards that you can work toward. Kind of bribe yourself to get your goals accomplished. I don't know what else to do with the screen in order to transition, so... Okay, guys, thanks for hanging out and getting ready with me today. I hope you found these 8 steps very helpful toward keeping your goals. If you did, please remember to like this video, subscribe to my channel. I post new content about fitness and nutrition on the first Wednesday of every month. And at the end of this month, I have my first unboxing video of my 3 fitness subscriptions. I've got a ton of fun stuff planned for this year, so I hope you'll subscribe and join in with me. And I'm really excited to hear about your goals and be part of your journey. I hope you reach them this year. I'd like for you to stick around and be on my journey as I reach my goals. And yeah, thanks for hanging out today. Bye.